far, we have been talking about various cell organelles. We have talked about the powerhouse of the cells. We have talked about the post office of the cells. And even we have talked about the protein factories present inside the cell. And this is yet another session to talk about a cellular part. And this time, to be specific, we are going to be discussing the brain of the cell. Yes guys, I am talking about the cell nucleus. Wondering why do we refer to cell nucleus as the brain of the cell? Well friends, the nucleus is a double membrane bound protoplasmic body that contains the genetic blueprint of all the cellular functions. Yes, all the metabolic activities occurring inside the cell are basically controlled by the cell nucleus. Come, in this session, let us discuss the brain of the cells, that is, the cell nucleus inside out. Friends, the nucleus is the largest cell part, and it was for the first time observed by a scientist named Leeuwenhoek in the red blood cells of fish. But in detail, it was described by another scientist named Robert Brown in the year 1831. Robert Brown actually discovered nucleus in the root cells of orchids. And that is the reason that Robert Brown is given the credit for the discovery of the nucleus. Now friends, let me tell you that nucleus is present in all the living eukaryotic cells except the mature sieve tube cells in the vascular plants and the mature red blood cells of mammals. Though the nucleus is found in all the living cells, but the number of nuclei may vary in different cells. Friends, nuclei is a plural term used for nucleus. Friends, most of the living cells have single nucleus in them and hence they are called uninucleate cells. But some unicellular organisms like Paramecium may have more than one nucleus. Now, in case of Paramecium, the number of nuclei is 2 and hence Paramecium is called a binucleate cell. Interestingly, our striated muscle cells or simply voluntary muscle cells have multiple nuclei in them and hence they are called multinucleate cells. Now friends, the multinucleated cells in case of animals are also referred to as syncytial cells, whereas the multinucleate cells in case of plants and fungi are also referred to as cenocytic cells. Well, with this, we know how the nucleus was discovered and who discovered nucleus and how the number of nuclei vary in different cells. Now, let us move forward and discuss where this nucleus is located inside a cell and what all biomolecules is it composed of. Well, the nucleus is found in the region of maximum metabolic activity of the cytoplasm and it is usually located at the center of the cells. But in case of plant cells, the nucleus is found pushed towards the periphery as the central vacuole of the plant cell occupies 90% of the total cell volume. Now friends, let me tell you that usually the nucleus is spherical in shape, but in some cells like the cells of squamous epithelium, it can be disc-shaped. And in case of white blood cells, the nucleus is found to be lobed. Friends, the biochemical analysis of the nucleus tells us that it contains about 9 to 12% DNA, 3% lipids, 5% RNA, 15% proteins and about 65% of enzymes. It is also known to contain trace amounts of the minerals like sodium, potassium, magnesium and calcium. With this, we are through with all the general information that we need to know about the nucleus before we dive into deeper studies. So now let us move forward and discuss the ultrastructure of nucleus. Friends, A nucleus consists of following parts, namely a nuclear envelope or the nuclear membrane, nuclear matrix, nuclear plasm, chromatin, and the nucleolus. Let us discuss all these parts in detail one by one. And the first part that we are going to discuss is the nuclear envelope or the nuclear membrane. Friends, a nuclear envelope is a double membranous system. That is, it consists of two membranes, an inner membrane and an outer membrane, each of which is about 60 to 90 angstroms thick, and they are separated by about 10 to 50 nanometers. Now friends, the space between these two membranes are referred to as perinuclear space, and this perinuclear space protects the contents of the entire nucleus. Well friends, the outer membrane of the nucleus is found to be continuous with that of rough endoplasmic reticulum, and hence we can say that the nuclear membrane or the nuclear envelope share its lumen with the endoplasmic reticulum. Now let me tell you that one of the very important functions performed by the nuclear envelope is that it has to maintain a unique composition inside the nucleus, and it is done by selective permeability of the nuclear envelope. Yes friends, it is selectively permeable as it allows only selective ions, soluble solutes and even macrobiomolecules to enter the nuclear plasm. And friends, this is basically facilitated by the pores or the perforations present throughout the nuclear envelope. These perforations or the pores are also called nuclear pores, and they are made up of really specific protein complexes. In simple words, the two membranes surrounding the nucleus fuse at various points to form one nuclear pore, which allows the selective movement of substances to and fro the nucleus. Now friends, let me tell you that these nuclear pores are made up of specific proteins called the nucleoporins, and they have a circular structure around them, which are also called as annuli. Now, the pore along with the annuli is known as the nuclear pore complex or the NPC in abbreviation. And friends, such a kind of nuclear pore is also known as annulated nuclear pore. Friends, the next part of the nucleus that we are going to discuss is the nuclear matrix. And this nuclear matrix is found right beneath the nuclear envelope. And friends, it is made of fine fibrils of proteins. So we can say that it is a region of dense fibrous layer. And it is also known as nuclear lamina or fibrous lamina. Now let me tell you that this fibrous lamina provides the nuclear envelope the mechanical strength. Now let us move forward and discuss the next part of the nucleus, which is the nuclear plasm. Friends, as we discussed, the nuclear plasm is the substance followed by the nuclear matrix. And this nuclear plasm is transparent, semi-fluid and colloidal in nature. And it consists of various biomolecules including numerous important enzymes required for all the metabolic activities that occur inside the nucleus. Friends, the nuclear plasm is basically the ground substance present in the nucleus. Now, moving on to the next part of the nucleus, that is chromatin. Friends, chromatin is a fibrillar complex made up of DNA and proteins. Chromatin appear in the form of fibers, which in turn appear to be forming a network-like structure called the chromatin reticulum. Now, this chromatin reticulum has two parts, namely euchromatin and the heterochromatin. Well friends, they are named so on the basis of the stains. Euchromatin is a thin, lightly stained part that contains active genes in it, and heterochromatin is the thick and darkly stained part that contains no active genes in it. Surprisingly, the entire chromatin present inside the nucleus is not functional. Only a small portion of the euchromatin is functional and can regulate the metabolic activities, such as the formation of RNAs inside it. Friends, the chromatin during the process of cell division condenses to form a definite number of thread-like structures called the chromosomes, which we will discuss in detail in our upcoming video. Now, let us move forward and discuss the last part of the nucleus. I am talking about the nucleolus. Friends, nucleolus was discovered by a scientist named Fontana in the year 1781. Now, this nucleolus is found to attach to the chromatin on the nucleolar organizer regions, or abbreviated as NORs. Friends, these NORs are specific locations on regions present on the chromatin which are crucial for the formation of a new nucleolus. Friends, the nucleolus is not bound by any membrane and it is in direct contact with the nucleoplasm. Now, let me tell you that a nucleolus has following parts: amorphous matrix, granular part, fibrillar part, and the chromatin. Friends, the amorphous matrix of the nucleolus is basically the ground substance present in the nucleolus, whereas the granular region contains the granules made up of protein and RNA. The fibrillar part contains the fibers made up of proteins and RNA. Now, the chromatin part of the nucleolus is the part from where the nucleolus is attached with the chromatin fibers. Friends, this mysterious part of the nucleus called the nucleolus is basically involved in the synthesis of ribosomal RNA and in the assembly of the subunits of the ribosomes. Now, this nucleolus is also known to contain enzymes, proteins, and specifically histone proteins which are required for various metabolic activities performed inside the nucleus. And with this, we have come to the end of this session. Stay tuned to learn more about the thread-like structures called the chromosomes, which basically contain the genetic blueprint of life in our upcoming video. So, on this note, let us summarize what did we learn today. The nucleus is also called the brain of the cell. The nucleus is the largest cell part and it was first discovered by a scientist named Robert Brown in the year 1831 in the root cells of orchid. The nucleus is found in all the living eukaryotic cells except the mature sieve cells of the vascular plants and mature red blood cells of the mammals. The number of nuclei may vary in the variety of cells. The multinucleate cells in case of animals are also known as syncytial cells, and the multinucleate cells in case of plants and fungi are also known as cenocytic cells. The nucleus is found in the region of maximum metabolic activity in the cytoplasm and it is usually situated in the center of the cells. In case of plant cells, the nucleus is pushed towards the periphery as the central vacuole of the plant cells occupies 90% of the total cell volume. Biochemically, the nucleus contains 9 to 12% DNA, 5% RNA, 3% lipids, 15% proteins, and about 65% of enzymes. A typical nucleus is differentiated into 5 parts, namely nuclear envelope, nuclear matrix, nucleoplasm, chromatin, and the nucleolus. The nuclear envelope is a double membranous system. The two membranes of the nucleus fuse at different locations to form a nuclear pore, which allows the selective transportation of substances to and fro the nucleus. The nuclear matrix is found right beneath the nuclear membrane and it is made of fine fibrils of proteins. Chromatin is basically a fibrillar complex made up of DNA and protein. Chromatin during the cell division condenses to form a definite number of thread-like structures called the chromosomes. The nucleolus was first discovered by the scientist named Fontana in the year 1781. Nucleolar organizer regions are locations or the regions on chromosomes which are crucial for the formation of nucleolus. A nucleolus is made up of the following components: amorphous matrix, granular part, fibrillar part, and the chromatin. The nucleolus is basically involved in the synthesis of ribosomal RNA and in the assembly of the ribosomal subunits.